Hey everybody, we're
Hello,
back.
hello.
Calling Konversation with me, Rick,
And me, Naeem.
and our special guest. We have a chiropractic doctor, and the name of his shop is The Back Doctor. So let me introduce you to Patrick Cheng. Patrick, how are you doing today?
I am doing very well.
And as you can see, he's very pro throw your mask on.
Oh yeah, I'm keeping
but
mine on out of respect. Rick is disrespectful, so he doesn't keep his on.
as always.
As always.
So, anyways, we came to you today because we had some questions, being martial artists that we are, and a lot of our viewers are into the martial arts world. And I was always curious what a chiropractor, one, does, and then two, you also have a physical therapist. Now I know they're two different sides of the coin there, I guess, right? So you explain that. What?
I'm a chiropractor, and what we do is we primarily adjust joints. So if you ever looked at everything with like a bicycle chain, you have your joints, you have your bicycle chain. Your bicycle chain goes around and around. The chain can get kinked.
Right.
The chain can still work, it just doesn't work very efficiently.
Or it gets off the.
Well, that's all, it gets offline. And then, but what happens is all the other links have to increase their motion to then compensate for that lack of motion.
Oh. Okay.
So, in a real basic sense, as long as your joints are all moving, then you can have full motion. So we can see this with volleyball players, because when they jump up, their spine acts like a whip.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, this part of it.
Yeah. This is interesting. Hold on. So when they jump up, there's no stability for the spine, so it wiggles.
No, to the whole motion of jumping up, the spine acts like a whip.
Oh,
get
I
your
see.
leg.
Because then you get the full extension up
Correct.
here. That's the whip. That's the crack of the whip.
Yes.
And then you come. Oh wow.
So when the joints are all moving fantastically, you actually can get
Good height.
better height.
Better height.
Yes. And so we see this with, college level volleyball players who actually know exactly where their limits are. So somebody came to me a long time ago and we started treating him for whatever injuries at that. Serendipitously, he noticed that his leap just increased by about 2 inches.
Wow.
He was stunned. We didn't expect this.
Right.
But that was a direct cause and effect. Chiropractors are the most utilized healthcare service in the Olympics.
Oh wow.
At least at the United States Olympic
Team.
teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not the orthos, it's not the internists or anything like that. It's the chiropractors.
So that's weird to me because you hear a lot of, chiropractors get a bad rap.
Yeah.
Because those guys are quack doctors and not really
They're
doctors.
not medical doctors.
Yeah,
they always
you
put that
hear
up.
all these things, but I come to them all the time.
Oh yeah,
I see
visit
you.
with a
I see you
chiropractor
every
once a
week, and I know a lot of other people do go to
Yeah.
chiropractors, but for some reason you guys get a bad rap. Now, why is that?
Now, historically, yes, we have always had this
Stigma.
stigma battle. But actually, it's a political problem. Yes. So and it actually then boils down to money. So you have an economic pie, and the medical physicians pretty much have the whole thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Then you have a group coming
You
in.
guys.
Right. Yes,
They'll
liver.
start taking away slivers from them. What they perceive as slivers from them. I mean, we completely look after a different part of it.
Right.
Just
the
like the
mobility aspect of
Right,
it.
just like acupuncturists come in at a different angle,
Right.
chiropractors come in at a different angle, so osteopaths are similar. They gave up their rights historically and became more to follow the MD's part.
Oh,
medical
okay.
doctors. So you always see like DOs and MDs kind of working the same kind of realm.
Yeah.
DOs are actually this blend between chiropractors and manipulative medicine.
So what's a
versus
DO and
doctor of osteopath?
Yeah.
osteopath?
Right, and but then they are also able to do surgeries, prescribe medications, but they typically went that way because
Yeah.
that's follow the money.
But some of them still fall under the MD, and they still have.
Oh no, they're
regulations
separate. They're separate,
and- Okay.
but they align. Their philosophy, their approaches aligns with.
Western medical.
Well, no, that's like medical doctors.
Okay.
So yeah, people try to separate between Western medicine and Eastern. It actually all blends together.
See,
Um,
I like that.
Well, again, like I said, you hear about the bad reps that the guys get. Somebody gets into a car accident, first thing they say, "Oh, I got a chiropractor," and then the insurance bureau hate it because they're like, "Oh no, don't go see them, go see or whatever else." And you're like, okay, which one do you do?
Well, number one, who says insurance companies are your best friend?
Oh
yeah,
nobody.
right.
And
Right.
again, it goes both
Back
ways
money.
to money. No, chiropractors, how they approach it, we're physical medicine. We don't prescribe medications, we
Right.
don't do surgery. So we actually use our hands, well, obviously our brains.
Hopefully.
And then we'll really physically work on your,
Right.
on your injury. We follow a bunch of metrics, outcome measures.
Okay.
That's how you determine progress. Most importantly, the injured person,
Uh-huh.
like you,
him
when
definitely.
you're hurt, like, you can't lie.
Right.
I mean, you are hurt, you can't perform. I mean, before you were hurt, you have all the metrics, like how much you can work out, time,
Right.
effort, intensity. That's all gone, or significantly decreased. So we just start rebuilding. It's a step-by-step process, right? I'm probably not gonna handle it.
Well,
10 minutes, 10
sometimes
minutes.
for me it does.
Well, 10 minutes at your physician does, your
Right.
medical doctor does not.
Right.
No.
Whereas when you come to somebody like a chiropractor,
Yeah, you're there half an hour to an hour.
hour to even 2 hours.
Right.
Because everything's quite complex.
Yeah.
But once we know after that first visit, everything, pretty much everything about, then learn about you, know everything about that injury.
Okay.
And how everything else affects you. It's not just your lower back, your mid back, your shoulder.
Because it's all connected, so
It's
it's
all-
how
yeah,
the
it's all
thing
connected,
functions.
yeah,
So then that leads into then the physical therapy part
Mhm.
is more of what the mobility aspect of
Well,
it.
physical
or-
therapy is wonderful.
Okay.
So chiropractors and physical therapists are similar.
Okay.
So, but the chiropractor's scope encompasses all physical therapy.
Oh.
So it's the other way around.
Oh
'Cause
yeah.
I always heard that the physical therapist guys are the legitimate guys.
Well, again, that's like.
Because their association to the medical
Yeah,
side
no,
versus.
So physical therapists, they're not physicians. So physicians is basically it's a business code definition.
Okay.
So physicians is a profession that can make diagnoses, are licensed to make diagnoses. For example, if you hurt your back,
Right.
it's a lumbar sprain strain. You screw up your shoulder, you have a slap lesion, or a torn supraspinatus tonsillet. So that's a diagnosis.
There's a lot of names I won't remember.
Well,
We'll look it up in the dictionary.
okay, well,
We'll watch the video again.
Rick has a bump hip,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, there you go.
So-
Well, he has a new hip now.
Yeah.
And there's a whole diagnosis that goes along with that.
Really?
That's what. So then because of that,
So that's the physician's job is to
yes.
give it. That,
yeah, we have to make that
Oh,
decision.
hold on. And just so that the audience knows, this is my back doctor. We didn't just pick him out of the yellow pages and say, hey, let's go to his place. He actually treats me, so I know a lot of things that he knows a lot about my injuries.
Although nowadays I think we should say Google instead of white pages or
Yeah,
yellow
that's
pages.
right. Yeah, we Googled him.
Back doctor near me.
So, but so because we're able to diagnose, then we can guide treatment.
Okay.
So which also includes, say, if you do an MRI, we
Right.
can then prescribe to get an MRI,
Oh.
prescribe to get blood work, prescribe to get X-rays. That's why chiropractors can take X-rays. I don't like X-rays. I'm not a fan of X-rays at all.
You just don't like radiation.
There's all that stuff. It's a very important test. But
Okay.
the point being is,
You're
that-
licensed to do that.
Yeah, we're all licensed to do that. That's what separates what chiropractors from physical therapists. Therapists have to take their direction from
A chiropractor.
a chiropractor or medical doctor because that's who drives the diagnosis. Therefore, guides treatment.
Hey, that's a good distinction.
So let's do it this way. Let's talk about my problems that I've had.
Well, let
So
me
to
finish
give
up the other
okay.
things. So, chiropractors we adjust joints.
Mhm.
Right.
Physical therapists don't,
Mm.
and that actually really then differentiates
So
between
the diagnostics and then the actual
Manipulation.
hands-on manipulation
right.
of the
And they
joints.
call it high amplitude, low thrust. That manipulation. That's where you kind of have that cracking of your knuckles, cracking your neck.
Right.
Have you ever
So-
thought of taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?
I have, and I actually got really busted up. That was fantastic until You know what?
So
You never
you have-
learn.
you have
no,
some
no,
experience,
no, no,
yeah.
you never learn with novices.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because
No.
I woke up against a guy who actually did judo. I come in knowing nothing,
Wow.
and I get thrown. I didn't even know how to land at that point in time,
Right.
and that just took me out, and that was game over.
Yeah, that's a bad
Well,
start.
and the thing is, because I know that when you're treating me, he's the only guy that can make you scream like a girl.
Only because you let me, and you also don't hit me back.
Yeah, I can't fight back, so until I get him into our school. So
Yeah, then I'm gonna have to crap kick
Dude,
you.
I don't know if he's gonna step in after his first experience.
yeah,
No, I promise, Rick. I promise you.
Oh no, he's gonna join the club. We're gonna kick his ass if he doesn't.
And I'm gonna be crying like a little bit.
So
There you go.
let's give my synopsis of my story as far as
Oh yeah.
the injuries that I had and what you've been having to do with them.
We should
Because
call this
a
segment.
lot of injuries that I have,
Broken
are
rib.
related to some of the martial arts that we do. I mean, with the way our emotions are and things that we have to do and the things that we're defending against, we're getting a lot of bruises and bumps and whatever else. And
I think microfractures.
yeah, we have sticks, so we're always constantly getting banging our hands with the sticks. And I've had pain here for the longest time, and I know it's, and so those are the things that I want to talk about because that becomes relevant to the martial arts world.
Yes, you're being an artist for martial artist for how many years now?
Oh, for too long.
And so like decades.
Yeah.
Decades. So there's a number of reasons for pain. One of them, you're very active. Getting hurt's part of the game, which is fine. Just accept it. And then once you know that you're hurt, you just have to back off, and you have to let your body heal. For example, if you break your arm,
No, yeah.
if you break your arm, like there's nothing you can do
To
to
speed
speed
it
that
up.
healing of that bone. It'll take between 4 to 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks.
And even then
Your body-
afterwards, it's still some week until it did it.
Yes, and that's part of the healing process. And then the goal for the injured, athlete is to then do everything possible to maximize correct healing, and that's how we reduce downtime.
How do you maximize correct healing in something like a fracture or even a sprain?
Okay, sprained, yes, sprained ankle, which is typical of
Of what we do.
Of
Oh
what we
yes.
do.
sprained wrist.
My thumb is sprained right now.
So there's small injuries, and then there's severe injuries,
Okay.
and there's everything in between. And also injuries can look like something, but can be actually something completely different.
Really?
example-
So a lot of mixed and diagnosis on.
Right. So that's where the diagnosis comes in. That's where.
Ah.
So for example, you sprain your ankle.
Uh-huh.
Give me this foot.
Give me that foot.
Tip of a sprained ankle will be right here.
Right.
What I do for my craft.
But very similar mechanism of injury. You can have an avulsion fracture right here. We call it the base of the fifth
Really?
metatarsal. Exact same mechanism of injury. Completely different injury.
How do you tell the difference?
You just poke.
Well,
But for someone like you,
Yeah.
maybe you say I sprained my ankle.
Yeah.
That'll be, and you downgrade it, which is normal. But we start poking. A sprained ankle will be specifically spots here that will be
Wow.
very sore.
Yeah.
But then the patient will go, that doesn't hurt there. Then you start tracking down, then it starts here. And that's the only thing there is probably going to be the highest probability of a avulsion fracture. A avulsion fracture means that the tip of the bone here got ripped out
ouch.
because the ligament comes all the way and inserts down
And
there.
then it.
And it hurts like
Yeah.
heck, but it hurts exactly like sprained ankle.
Really?
Yes.
That is crazy.
Okay. And then some people think sprained ankle,
Yeah.
but then it's up here. It could be actually a stress fracture up here. Stress or even compression fracture. Can't see that on X-ray. It's
No
all done by
way.
history.
Oh
Yes, by
wow. So again, you have to kind of poke and prod until
Poke
you
and
really
prod,
find.
and then you have to listen to your descriptions of how
Right.
how this injury hurts you.
Yeah, and you know me, when every time I come in, I say, oh, here's this, and this. Now, let me ask you this, because you're talking about pain, and I feel that I have a pretty high threshold for pain.
You do, yes.
And I just kind of blow off a lot of the hits the guys, because the students will hit me all the time.
Right.
And I'm like, And then I'll come in here crying about, oh my God, yeah, and I don't realize that I'm actually more hurt than I really am. So what is going on there?
You know what? It's a balance. High level athletes, your brains are wired differently. meaning you can take a lot of abuse. I mean, it's not like you get hurt and you run to the doctor. No,
Right.
No, I'm not saying that. But everyone's different. But high level athletes, they're wired differently. Your brains are wired differently. Your genetics are different. Typically, high level athletes heal a lot faster. It sets you apart.
Huh.
Okay. That's why, again, high level athletes, they just heal so fast.
Yeah, and that's why they end up like broken old men, because they spend so much time not taking care of what they should be taking care of.
There's a choice, right?
Right. Well,
I mean,
because I have to keep going. I still have to pay my bills. I still have to go to work. I still have to do all these things. That,
But also you enjoy it.
yeah, and I enjoy getting beat up. Who doesn't?
Don't lie to the camera. Don't lie to the camera.
Who doesn't enjoy that? I'll take a good ass kicking any day.
Well, you enjoy your art.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and
We're glad for punishment.
there's
for sure.
definitely a euphoria that goes along with the training itself, and even the pain after a while. You're like, oh man, I had a good day of training,
Right.
Yeah.
even though you might be more injured than you are
Well,
letting on.
I think when you train hard, you are tearing, you are injuring yourself. Except it's a lot of micro tears. Again, and that's expected, and that's how you build muscle strength, muscle pull, right, endurance.
Right.
But then there's your, then if there's injuries that it's just different. And that's the one you should say, okay, let me just get it checked out.
Right.
And that's where I come in. Because what's most important is like, is this a big injury or is this a small injury? That's
Right.
it. That's the very first, or actually the first question, are you injured at all?
Right.
And the next question is this a small or a big one?
So
Because, because
Yeah.
if it's a small injury, then we know, it calms you down, right? We can deal with it. We'll give you parameters of how long, this is gonna last so many weeks, right?
Right.
And then this is what we're gonna do to help you heal along the way. And we
No,
don't
I
want
never pay attention to this.
Yes, you do.
So I have. So tell